As human beings, along the history we have incorporated different practices and rituals, both to celebrate life and to honor those who aren't here anymore. Around the world, in a generalized way, the two more common methods for dismiss our loved ones are the cremation and the inhumation, two practices that nowadays, due to the increase in the global population, are neither economic nor environmentally sustainable. On one side, the inhumation is a practice that consists in draining corporal fluids off the body and then replace them with a mixture designed to help preserve the corpse to eventually bury it. This liquid is called formalin, and its main function is to block the growth of microorganisms in the body tissues and prevent biochemistry of destroying it or breaking it down. However, according to the OSHA3 standards, formaldehyde is one of the main causes of leukemia and represents occupational hazard for those who work with it. On the other hand, regarding to the use of coffins and cremation, according to the nonprofit Center for Natural Burial, the carbon dioxide produced in the combustion of each cremation releases around 400 kilograms of CO2 into the atmosphere, besides the contamination caused to the soil for the use of varnishes and lacquers on the coffins. This is the reason why we created Eternal Project, a sustainable alternative that gives the possibility to dismiss your loved ones in an eco-friendly way, encouraging to leave a legacy of repair and life to the next generations. Our objective is to generate a change in the national territory, in which only between January and March of 2020 have died approximately 56,000 people, of which 55% of it were cremated. According to studies carried out by the Universidad del Bosque, the pollution processes in the cemeteries of Bogota affect bodies of water by pathogenic discharges, and the gas emissions generated into the atmosphere affect directly the population. How we make death a synonym of life? During our research process, we managed to identify a molecule named adipocere, a similar substance to the organic wax that is generated by anaerobic hydrolysis in the adipose tissues of corpses. During the decomposition of fatty tissues, and according to the environmental conditions where the process is going to take place, the adipocere molecule enters a phase called saponification, where a hard material similar to wax or soap is formed. The formation of it slows down and makes harder the decomposition process for microorganisms. To counteract the saponification process, we will modify genetically the bacteria Escherichia coli so we can process the adipocere molecules produced during decomposition. For this, we found a gene in the bacteria Clostridium cadaveris that is capable of recognizing the adipocere molecules and generate enzymes competent to transform the substance and accelerate the decomposition process of the corpses. The bacteria Escherichia coli will start recognizing the adipocere molecule in order to be able, through translation and transcription of genes, to produce degradation enzymes that in turn and in a cyclical way will attack these fat molecules. And that way we can prevent them to get into the saponification process and leave the path free for other microorganisms and fungi, in this case mycelium, fully complete the decomposition of organic material. Once eliminated the adipocere molecule and the mixture of microorganisms is added, we will be able to degrade corpse in an estimated time of 2 weeks. Another part that, due to its structure and characteristics, has a slow decomposition are the bones. Inside the bones, we can find water, minerals such as phosphate and calcium carbonate, organic material, and mainly collagen, along with other proteins in a smaller proportion. Calcium and collagen are elements that generate a compost rich in nutrients. This is why, once the decomposition process of the body is finished, we will proceed to remove these bones through the sieving process to finally crush them and rejoin the organic material to finalize the decomposition process. Regarding bioethics, an important and essential part of Eternal is its commitment and respect for the beliefs and traditions of deceased people and their families. Any belief or religion is respected and welcomed within what Eternal represents. On the other hand, Eternal symbolizes an ethical and friendly process with the environment, contributing on a large scale with one of the greatest pollutants that all human beings live at the time of our death. Likewise, The differential value of eternal is the ability to reflect on the chain of life. At the same time, a resignification of death is generated. This, through the genetic modification and result of compost for the creation of a new way of life, representing the deceased person who in eternal finds a symbolic way to prolong his or her life and not immediately has an impact on the other people around them. Furthermore, eternal was conceived to permeate and impact various geographic spaces, achieving to provide a service suitable for all the people globally, thus influencing the human habitants through a process of reflection and resignification of their practices. How does Eternal Project works? If there is something that characterizes us as living beings, is the pain we feel when we lose someone we love. Getting over a death can be one of the hardest things you can do. People may feel dismayed or fearful. This is an emotional moment, and although it is difficult to talk about this issue, it is important to address them. When a person dies, the family member will call requesting our services. Eternal takes care of collecting the body and transport it to the place where it will be prepared and baled. It will be left in a cold room to its conservation and detoxification to prevent it from any impurities that affects the decomposition process. Subsequently, maintaining its temperature in a capsule of refrigeration, the ritual of vigil will be carried out by the relatives. Afterwards, it will be transported to our decomposition center, where the biotechnologic process will begin. That, with the help of our genetically modified bacteria, organic material, and mycelium, that will accelerate the decomposition process. From, we will finally obtain a nutrient-rich compost, with which new life will be created in form of a large tree or a beautiful flower, and thus we will create a space to remember, to enjoy, and to share with joy, paying tribute to all of our loved ones who have left a legacy of reparation for the next generations. This is Eternal Project.